Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a new series called 30 for 30, where I do 30 rapid-fire critiques in 30 days, 15 Adorama picks, and 15 Squarespace rapid-fire critiques. If you want to see all of the rapid-fire critiques in one place, go ahead, click up on the screen right now. We'll take you over to the website to do that, but let's get into a critique. I'm back this time. We have another Adorama Picks rapid fire critique, part of the 30 critiques in 30 days, and we have, it looks like, a set of my best 10 landscapey type photos by Jose Rene Garcia. But before we do that, if you haven't checked out Adorama Picks to get some aluminized prints made, there is a code. Use code PXMETFRO30 to get 30% off your entire aluminum print order at Adorama Picks until September 30th, 2015. Let's get to the edit. No, let's get to the critique. So here we have San Francisco. It's the Golden Gate Bridge, a place that many people shoot quite often. I feel the image. It's a different angle than I'm used to seeing. You're used to seeing an angle a little further to the right, which leaves less of this dead space here. But is this Alcatraz over here? I'm not sure, but that's where Alcatraz tends to be. I like the extra light down here that's coming in. What are we shooting with? Nikon D600, 14 to 24, 2.8. You know I absolutely love this lens, f13. To get the, around f13, 11 to 16, you're gonna get these stars. You don't need a filter to do that. It's gonna happen. I would be interested to see what time of day this was, but it's probably a little after sundown, well, maybe a lot after sundown, but the longer the exposure, the more light that's going to come in here. I wish the bridge filled the frame a little more, but I do like this stuff in the distant background. You've got the foreground, you've got the background, you've got the long shutter speed, which is causing the little waves in the water to make it smooth out. So break out an ND filter here. If you get one of those big stopper things, you could get a nice long ass exposure, which would then make all of the water and the clouds ghost away. So I'm feeling what's going on in the image itself that's taken. It's the processing and editing, not so much. It's the burning in of all of this that I can see the line of burning, the line of demarcation. It's bad that you can see that this was burnt in, so it's just a bad processing job. Don't ruin your photos with bad processing. If the sky isn't there, you have to, then the sky isn't there. You need to either stack your exposures and then cut in a better exposure of the sky, but this is just a bad job of doing it. The image I love, and I love the processing of the lighthouse and everything else. It's the sky. Look what happens when you burn it in. Look at all the grain that's introduced. So that's really not good. Don't do that. That's nice. See, now this is nice. Now this could be a stacked layered type image because you've got the stars moving. Well, let's see, what is it? 2.5 seconds. At 2.5 seconds, you wouldn't get the stars moving like this at 2.5 seconds. I love the image, I like what's going on. But at 2.5 seconds, when you're shooting stars, 15 to 20 seconds at most. Oh, let me check a few things before I, f13, 2.5 seconds. No, you wouldn't get enough light at f13. So I think this is a stacked exposure with, not a stacked exposure, but done in post-processing to put the stars in there the way that they are. I don't think I'm wrong about that, but if you think I'm wrong, let me know. But that's what the feel is that I get. I like the overall image, don't get me wrong. I do like that. This is interesting. 20 millimeters, f13. It feels all right. I would consider trying a vertical of this. So we cut out this back here. To me, that's, and look at these, is that, the sky looks weird. I can't put a finger on it right now, but the sky looks weird. So something like this could work, leading you into this, if this is what the focus of the image is. It just seems like, I'm not sure, are we focusing on the sunset or the sunrise? Is it this car, this area, or is it this thing? And if it's this thing, then just show that thing. All right, I can feel it, you know, street photography. I think that the too many shadows were brought in post-processing. If you tighten this up, make it a more vibrant black and white, it would look better. I think I can tell from the background that the shadow sliders and whites were bumped a lot because that's why you get this glowy McGlowerson thing in the background. But I like the focus on the eyes. I like the tones here, but I'd like to see a little more contrast, less of the corrections that you made. I think you overcorrected it. And I think that's the moral of the story that's going on here, even with something like this. Now that's San Francisco again, and I love this angle. I think it's the over-processing is hurting it. When you look at this image, it looks like multiple images cut into one to try to make it better, or a lot of dodging and burning being done, or burning in this case, done at the bottom. Now, I've talked about this before, where you've got the creative crop possibility to create a panoramic. Now, I say that I don't crop any of my own personal work when it comes to the photojournalistic stuff that I do. In this case, when it's a landscape, you go into that situation knowing in your mind that you want to create a specific image, and in that case, you know that if you want to create a creative crop, in my mind, that's okay because you thought about that beforehand. It's not like you shot a picture and said, oh, I should have done this, and then it's cropped this way. You know, it's not done beforehand. When you think of it beforehand, you're good. I like to say that you're okay. So this is an image that I think that a panoramic would have done much better. The sky is beautiful. The color is beautiful. If we just did something along this line. I think that there's no reason to see these rocks here. And I love the water. And I love this. And I think this is the panoramic that I would have looked at if I was shooting this image. And that is what I would still consider to do because there's way too much processing done in this image. Now that is a hell of a lot better. And it looks like we have a creative crop going on in this case. I am feeling this because of the smog and it's not smog, it's fog that's rolling in. Yes, we've got a little bit of processing going on in the sky, but it's not over the top this time, and I love the black and white. I absolutely love it's Golden Gate Bridge in the afternoon, which is even not more rare because the fog does burn off during the day, but I like this shot. Great job on the creative crop on this one. That's exactly what I was talking about. Colors, really nice colors in the sky. Don't know how we're getting those unless we're using a different filter up there with the 14 to 24 and some kind of filter in front of it. I like it. I wish that the sun wasn't as flary as it is. Not your fault, but really nice job getting it. Nice composition, nice color, nice tones. I like this one a lot better. And this works as well. I think we could darken it up just a tad. Of course, that's on my monitor. Again, if this is HDR, it's fine. I have no problem with that. It just feels that it needs a little more contrast to tighten it up because it becomes unrealistic looking for such a long exposure. Why I say unrealistic looking? Because the wood starts to take on this glowing look that I don't think it should have, especially with a long exposure at this time. The lights look fantastic, but I think bringing the exposure down slightly, bumping up the contrast is going to make it seem like a more realistic image, and it would be much better. But I do like that shot. I like this shot. I like that it's the moon. 15 seconds at F11, and I like the way that this feels. I like all of these trees here. I like the moon over here. Again, I hope it's the moon. Or is it the sun? It's got to be the moon. It's got to be the moon. The sun would be much brighter on this area. But again, I think that the sky is burnt in a little weird. I would rather bring the sky down all the way dark and have this be the focus of the image. But overall, pretty good. Don't dislike it. And then finishing with something like this in Pfeiffer, George Pfeiffer. No, it's Paul Pfeiffer Beach, California. Much better. It looks less like you sandwiched two images together in this case, and I like it more. In terms of a landscape, get closer. I think it's about the waves crashing on the rocks, not so much about this beach right here. But whatever it is, it really is. And I think that there's some good shots in this album. Now, I've done only a little bit of landscape in my life, but the whole point of the critiques is not everybody's going to be a landscape photographer that's looking at your work. So I'm trying to point it out from my perspective, and I think a lot of it came down to the processing. The editing was heavy-handed, which caused the images to lose some of their likability. Now, where the Golden Gate Bridge with the fog was, I absolutely loved that. That looked great. So there's some really good shots here. Just be careful in shots like this with your processing. If you sandwich things together, don't make me see that line. If I can see that it's processed and two images were smack dab together, or you dodge the whole sky but it doesn't blend very well, then it doesn't work. You've got to keep that in mind when you're doing this. But some of these prints would look really good as an Adorama Pix aluminized print, and that's called a Segway. If you want to get some prints made and you want to have them done aluminized metal from Adorama Pix, go ahead and use the code that's up here on the screen right now to get 30% off your entire aluminized print order until September 30th, 2015. Go ahead and take advantage of that because prints on the wall make a great impression, and that's where I'll leave it. Jared, PolandFronosPhoto.com. See ya. To check out all the videos from this 30 for 30 series, go ahead and click up on the screen right now. It's going to take you over to the post over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, where you can see all 30 posts once they are live.